Hello. In this section, we want to draw a little parallel to sort of Western psychology, and here we're going to look at the needs hierarchy created by a psychologist named Abraham Maslow. Now here I'm going to go on this hyperlink here to take us to another page, and then we'll come back to this. And okay, so here's an article on Maslow's needs hierarchy. And when Maslow first outlined, again, I'm not going to go and read this whole thing to you. When Maslow first created his needs hierarchy in the late 20th century, somewhere around the 1950s or possibly 1960s, he said there are 5 levels of needs: physiological needs, and it built as sort of a pyramid. Then safety needs, then social needs, then esteem needs, then self-actualization, which his term self-actualization is very different than the notion of self-realization. It's a different usage of the word self. And again, we're not going to go through this in great detail. But one of the things that happened with Maslow, as he personally involved in his understanding of psychology and human consciousness, in his later years, he added a 6th level called transpersonal. Now, meanwhile, these 5 needs hierarchies had become very, very well known in human development and business schools. I studied it in business school in the 1960s, is where I was first introduced to this. And later, when he added the 6th level transpersonal, nobody went back and rewrote the book. So most people are not aware that he came up with a 6th level called transpersonal. The point that we're wanting to look at here is that to the yogis, what he's calling transpersonal level actually has multiple parts to it, multiple aspects of our being. And so these 5 needs hierarchies he's talking about is basically in that gross level of reality. And then came the subtle and the causal and the absolute, which is mapped out in the Om. And here, I've got this down here. You can see this. There's the 1, 2, 3, 4 levels. And remember, we already talked about the gross, subtle, and causal. We talked briefly about the the U, and the representing Vaishvanara, Tejasa, Prajna, and Turiya. So here they are briefly. You can pause this and read these if you want. But there's the Vaishvanara, there's the Tejasa, there's the Prajna, and there's the Turiya. And I'll go down here. If you want to read this, you can pause it and read it. But there's those levels, and I numbered these here just simply so we can easily see it on the graphic. So it's the 1, 2, 3, 4. So here's gross, subtle, causal, and the absolute. And this is, to the yogis, this is a map of Om. Okay? So this is a parallel. This is an effort to show you that there is a parallel between yogic psychology, we could say, and Om mantra, and modern psychology. So I hope you enjoy that, and so go back and pause this and read some of that if you want, okay? And then we will continue on. Thank you once again for listening, and I hope you're enjoying this. And remember, Om. Remember what Om is. Om is leading us through these levels of reality right into the silence, which is awareness of our own subtler level of consciousness. And so we practice this in daily life and in meditation. Okay? So thank you for visiting. I hope you're enjoying this. Bye-bye. See you for the next section.